How's it going, New York Giants fans? My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. Today, we want to take a look at a position battle at strong safety, Julian Love versus rookie fourth-round pick Dane Belton out of Iowa. Now, these two guys, of course, kind of coming in here trying to get that starting gig after we released Logan Ryan. Jabril Peppers went on to join the Patriots. And then, the whole secondary really is up for grabs aside from the Adoree Jackson, Xavier McKinney roles. There's a lot of players who are looking for playing time, could win that role. Of course, you got Cordell Flott, you got Darnay Holmes, Aaron Robinson, Love, Dane Belton. There's so many guys here competing for snaps, and it's going to be fun to watch how the secondary kind of shakes out this upcoming training camp and preseason and then going into the regular season. But we do want to specifically look at the strong safety spot, how the Giants and Wink Martindale might look to kind of get the most out of a guy like Julian Love, who's experienced, can play multiple roles, and then Dane Belton, who had a really great last season with Iowa, turnover machine. I think he had 5 interceptions. He's a hard hitter. He's like about 6'1", pretty solid player there, and I think could be a really nice fit for this Giants scheme on the defensive side, just being an aggressive kind of ball. On-ball safety, but like at the same time, he's also capable of dropping into that nickel role and playing kind of that shallow cash hybrid role, which is what he did at Iowa. So I am curious about your thoughts on these guys and maybe how this is going to shape up, Anthony. Before we do, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, and I'm super excited for this positional battle that we're going to see during training camp. I think that the Giants secondary is super interesting because there's not an abundance of talent. It's no clear cut, these are all of the starters. We've kind of got a competition going on at CB2. There's a really good one going on at the slot position, and now we've got one brewing at free safety. I mean, Xavier McKinney has the strong safety, free safety, whichever role they play him in, he's got that locked down. He is one of the starting safeties. But who's playing opposite of him? Julian Love is a really strong contender. It seems like he's the favorite because, he's been here the longest. He is a good player who's played some pretty solid reps for the Giants in the past. So it seems like he's ready for this starting role. But now you've got this rookie fourth-round pick, Dane Belton, who's super versatile, just like Julian Love, and could potentially steal that spot from him. So it's going to be a really interesting battle here. I don't even like to call either of these two players safeties, cornerbacks, nothing. I like to call them defensive backs because you'll see them line up out wide. You'll see them line up in the slot, and you'll see them line up at both safety positions. So I think that Julian Love and Dane Belton are very similar players, both with very versatile skill sets, and I think it makes them a perfect fit in Wink Martindale's defensive scheme. So I'm just super excited to see who outperforms who during training camp and ultimately wins that other starting safety position.
Yeah, look, I want to talk about Julian Love. He is a guy that I think, a lot of people underrate. He has played such an interesting role for this Giants team. Coming out of Notre Dame as a cornerback specifically, he's capable of playing free safety, strong safety, slot corner, boundary corner. That type of versatility is extremely valuable. I think this is going to be his first crack at earning a starting gig. And, when I look at Julian Love, I don't necessarily think he is a long-term strong safety. I don't think that he's a good tackler, but you got to have thumpers at that strong safety spot, like superior athletes. I don't think Julian Love is a superior athlete. I think he's a good overall athlete who's a good overall player at multiple positions. And I kind of liked him in that like utility man role. So it's kind of sucks that we don't have a guy that like is going to be an established starter now, because I do like how they supplemented injuries and deficiencies, and he would come in for a play and just kind of be that like fatigue mitigator. But I do think he's deserving of this opportunity to start. So last year for the Giants, 2021, he gave up 352 total yards in coverage, had 3 touchdowns, had an interception, 5 pass breakups. So, not awe-inspiring numbers in terms of his coverage capabilities, but, he's not a liability either. So that's something to keep in mind. Most of his snaps came, let's see here. So he had 140 snaps in the box. He had 182 at free safety and 211 in the slot. So he played a lot of that cash nickel role for the Giants, and they're kind of that mainly playing zone coverage because they tried to get to the cover one. They tried to be aggressive, play man coverage early in the season. It just did not work. So they went back to that bend, don't break mentality. And he kind of played that slot role and the cash role that Dane Belton played last year for Iowa. So I do think like he's a good tackler, like overall always grades as a good tackler. Did not miss many tackles last year. Had 45 in total, missed 3. So he's consistent in that category, which I do like a lot about him. That he's not going to like miss a lot of tackles. He's not going to be a liability in coverage or as a tackler. So that's something like that is points for Julian Love in that instance. But, Dane Belton coming over, a lot of people think he's a gem. There is reason to believe that he can come in and fill that like strong safety role because he's also versatile, right? So this is the value he really has. The nickel position is like a really coveted role in today's NFL because it's like a pass happy NFL. You kind of need that impact player at the position there. And there's possibility that both of these guys play on the field at the same time, because it seems like, you want to have these aggressive safeties on the field. I wonder how many times they have 2, 3 safeties, and they're blitzing some, dropping others in coverage. So there is a lot the Giants can do and Wake Martindale can do with this defense. But I think he's a powerful safety. I do like him a lot at the second level. Just hitting running backs or guys getting to that second level. I think he's going to clean up a lot there. And Julian Love is not a powerful hitter. He's not a thumper like that. He's a good form tackler, and I think that's also necessary. So it really kind of depends the situation, how they view Dane Belton and his strengths and weaknesses. He does have a little bit of his instincts aren't there just yet. That's why he's a mid-round pick. He does need to kind of improve on his instincts at the safety position. That will take time and experience. So at this point in time, I kind of want to say that Julian Love is going to be that starter, but I do think Dane Belton is going to be mixed in heavily. What is your impression of kind of how they utilize these guys?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to make an initial projection, I'm going to predict that Julian Love will be the starter at that safety position this upcoming season. I think seniority plays a part here. He's been here for a few years. He's a 2019 draft pick. So he's just been in the league for longer. He's got more experience, and he's a proven talent. I'm not saying that he's a tremendous talent, but he's proven to be capable of starting on a defense. He's started quite a few games for the Giants in the past. Jabril Peppers was injured, so he filled in at box safety. You had Logan Ryan injured for a little bit. You had slot cornerbacks that got injured, even outside cornerbacks. Anytime there's been an injury, they've always called upon Julian Love to start in that place for whoever was injured, and that doesn't matter which position it is, and that's why I call him a defensive back. I don't call him a safety. I don't call him a corner. He is a defensive back because he does have the ability to play all over this defensive secondary, and so does Dane Belton. So I really like what both of these guys bring to the table. I just think when you take a look at Julian Love, he's been out there playing that strong safety, which is where I always thought that he played the best personally, because he is such a great tackler and he does have good instincts. He's very conservative, though, in his tackling approach. He's not kind of thumping downhill, running at you full speed. He's not one of those Jonathan Abram, Jabril Peppers type players, but he is a lot more conservative in the way that he'll get into the box and make a form tackle, as you just mentioned, Alex. And sometimes he'll even force some fumbles. He's also got a knack for getting an interception per year. I think he's had one in every single year of his career. So he's a very good ball hawk as well when you put him deep as a free safety. I just like the instincts that Julian Love plays with. I think he might be a little bit physically and athletically limited. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the strongest guy, but he is one of the smartest guys on the field, in my opinion. And that really shines through with his ability to play every single defensive secondary position and just the way that, he's always around the football, making plays and contributing. I just think he's a very smart player. And Dane Belton, I think, has the traits to become one of those really high IQ players, but he also has great athleticism. If you look at his relative athletic score, he killed it in the speed tests, and he is very fast and he is pretty physical. So I think where Julian Love might be limited athletically, Dane Belton is not. So one day, I think Dane Belton can actually develop into a better player than Julian Love is right now. They were both fourth-round picks. They both have similar traits and abilities, but Julian Love being more of that athletically limited but really smart player, and Dane Belton being that guy that doesn't really have a cap on his athleticism here. He's got a lot of athleticism, and he can really develop into something special. So this year, I'm saying Julian Love is going to be the starter at that other safety position, but give it a year or two, I think you might see Dane Belton take that starting spot. And if he doesn't take that starting spot, you're going to see him playing Julian Love's former role, where if there's an injury anywhere in the secondary, Dane Belton is sliding right into that spot, and he's going to contribute with some solid snaps and be a pretty good player.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the Giants are probably looking at Dane Belton as at this point in time, because Julian Love's contract is over after this season. Who knows if they're going to extend him or he goes elsewhere? So, that's something they have to decide after the 2022 campaign. But Dane Belton has the capability to play like that strong safety, that cash roll, hybrid kind of safety in the nickel spot. So he could easily take over. I mean, he definitely got sauced a couple times against Wandale on deep throws against Kentucky. But he's not a free safety. That's not where he's going to play in the NFL. He doesn't have that type of ball hawk mentality on the deeper portion. He's very good when it comes to the shallow zone. He's really good at reading the quarterback's eyes in those shallow portions and undercutting routes. But I don't think he has the instincts on the back end to make cross the field plays that we saw McKinney make last year. That doesn't mean that he's not, he has other talents and strengths, which will translate to other positions. But I think, I agree with what you said. He'll probably kind of play second fiddle to Julian Love unless Love is just really struggling. And then he'll just learn, develop, and then in 2023, I think he'll take on a bigger role on this defense and really become more of a aggressive, instinctual, strong safety, also playing that nickel role in the zone coverage. So, of course, we know Wink Martindale really likes to utilize man coverage. Dane Belton in man coverage is not what you want. So when they are playing zone, obviously they are going to play some hybrid zone stuff. And, that's where I want to see him on the field, making those plays, reading the quarterback's eyes and being instinctual in those moments. But just improvement. This is a rebuilding year. Of course, we want to see this team win. But at the end of the day, it comes down to these young guys staying healthy and getting the experience and reps to translate to the next year. That's what we saw with McKinney. Hopefully we see it with Aaron Robinson. We saw it with Andrew Thomas, monstrous development. Hopefully Zizo Jalari takes a step forward. This is the year that you want to see all these draft guys, these 10, 11 draft picks that we have, get some experience, make an impact, have some positives to take away, and then take it and leverage it into a better 2023 season. So I'm excited to see this position battle, guys. Would love to hear your opinions below on the YouTube comments. Who you think will win this one? Anthony and I believe that Julian Love will be the starter. I think he's deserved it, he's earned it. Definitely has earned the first crack at the job at the very least. But definitely excited to see what Dane Belton's impact is going to be nonetheless. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.